Right now on Up with KREM, Governor Brad Little is traveling to Hayden today. This morning, the reason behind his trip to North Idaho.
And we saw a round of light rain early this morning. Still coming down in Coeur d'Alene. We'll let you know how much we're getting and what that means for our ongoing drought.
Plus, the Northwest has already seen multiple fires this year. Why the Spokane Fire Department says most of them were preventable.
Up with KREM begins now.
Hey there, good morning and welcome to Up with KREM. June is Pride Month, and so this morning we want to know, what does Pride mean to you? Text us your thoughts, 509-448-2000. You may see your response here on Up with KREM. We've already received some. This one says, Pride to me means being an ally and celebrating my LGBTQ plus friends and family. Love seeing the show of support for everyone.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's really what it's all about. You know, we were founded as a free country that's all about, expressing yourself and being who you are. And I think this is just another example. People cannot change certain things about themselves. And if we can celebrate those and make people feel more comfortable and be more inclusive, the world will be a better place. Let's spread kindness and love.
Kindness, smiles, and positivity.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just already going to just say it. If you're going to be negative, don't text us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be
Keep it to
nice,
yourself.
everyone.
Let's all
yeah.
be nice.
I
Let's
didn't
all
mean to be
caring.
like that, but yeah, let's just be nice to everyone.
Yeah.
All right. It is Wednesday though. Reason to be nice because we're halfway through the work week. It's going to be a little hump day.
We did it. We're here. We're doing it. And we got a little bit of rain early this morning here in town. Felt like a lot, didn't it?
I actually did.
Yeah, 2/100ths of an inch.
Oh.
That's kind of dismal. Anything less than really 1/10 of an inch is kind of not really worth talking about it when it comes to drought relief, but we need it so desperately bad, and it feels so good when it happens that we are going to talk about it. And we are going to talk about what it means because there is quite a bit to talk about. You can see a little bit wet there still in Coeur d'Alene, temps right around 50, wet up in Sandpoint as well. And when it comes to our ongoing drought, a lot of us are in those drought conditions, and for us, we're at the point right now where our lack of moisture has led to a few things. That's fire danger increasing, the possibility for dust storms, we've started seeing those, and river flow will start to be impacted as we start to lose that snowpack here shortly. So it's something we got to keep a really close eye on, and if it gets worse, then we're getting into the realm where we got to talk about things like stunted growth of crops or maybe feeding of wildlife changes. I'm trying to think of all the things about drought that happens. It's a while since you talk about it and you start going, okay, what are the things? So a little bit of moisture, that moisture now kind of tapering off and moving out of parts of North Idaho, and that will continue to be the case throughout the day. By this afternoon, I do think we dry out across the inland Northwest, but I think we hang on to those clouds. Tomorrow, another push of moisture. This one, it's a bit more energy and it packs a bigger punch, but unfortunately that punch, narrow miss. That hits us to the east, and we stay mostly dry across a good portion of the inland Northwest. So, hey, we're talking about it. It's there. We just need moisture in the atmosphere even. So we'll take anything we can get. Temps go from the mid-50s up into the mid and upper 60s later on today. Mostly cloudy, but maybe a peak or two of sunshine later this afternoon.
Happening today, Governor Brad Little will be in 2 North Idaho towns. This morning, Nicole Hernandez explains why Governor Little is in the area. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. I'm here at Real Life Ministries. You can see it behind me in Post Falls, Idaho. And this is where Governor Brad Little will be visiting. He will be giving a graduation speech for the Lakeland High School graduating seniors. That is starting at 7 p.m. Governor Little will also be in Hayden today. He'll be holding a press conference talking about the state's budget. This is the only place in the state that he's planning on talking about this specific topic. That's starting at noon today, but is not open to the public. Now, Governor Little was in North Idaho just last week. He traveled to Moscow for the groundbreaking of a new Schweitzer Engineering Labs facility. 60 jobs are expected to be created by the facility, and a dozen people have already been hired and are working as the building starts to take shape. Governor Little mentioned that Schweitzer is an ESOP. That means their employees get ownership interest in the company. Now again, Governor Little is starting in Hayden today with that press conference, then moving on to a graduation speech here at Real Life Ministries. Live in Post Falls, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, thank you. It's time for your morning rush now. More news in less time. First up, a decision on reopening the U.S.-Canada border could be coming soon. The mayor of a Canadian border city says he would be shocked if the border did not reopen to non-essential travel by June 22nd. The Prime Minister says he won't open the border until at least 75% of the population has had their first dose. Officials expect Canada to be there by June 21st. Leaders are hoping the Prime Minister speaks with President Biden about the matter this weekend at the G7 summit. This week, the first 250 names of the state's vaccine lottery were drawn, and now state officials are working to contact the winners. So here's a look at the machines used to generate the random winners of the state's vaccine lottery. The winning numbers will be matched with names of people who have gotten at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Winners will be contacted by phone or email.
Once somebody is contacted, either by email or telephone, they have 72 hours to get back to us, so that clock will be ticking.
The next drawing will be Tuesday. For more information on Washington's vaccine lottery, you can text the word lottery to 509-448-2000. Local fire officials say burn restrictions are 3 to 6 weeks ahead of schedule. Above average temps and little to no rainfall is increasing fire danger early in the season. Spokane Fire says the fires they've put out this year could have been preventable.
Everybody in the community has a responsibility for fire safety. Kept your property cleaned up and defensible, and you make it easy for us as firefighters to come protect your property.
Unauthorized open burning and recreational fires without chimneys or fire pits are restricted until this order is lifted. Well, heads up, more ramp meters are coming to the Spokane area. WashDOT will install ramp meters on each of the eastbound on-ramps at the Geiger roundabout once it's completed. A meter will also be installed on the on-ramp taking drivers from US Highway 2 on eastbound I-90 in Airway Heights once it opens. Spokane County already has 6 meters. Officials say the goal is to get everyone in the state on the interstate to drive safely.
It's a matter of perspective. If you're on the local street and you're getting on the ramp, you will be delayed. And so it is a change, but the goal is so that you get onto the freeway in a safer manner and that you have a less probability of getting in a collision up on top.
The meter at the Walnut Street eastbound on-ramp will now run from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. That is your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. Well, let's take a look at what's trending. Trending in Washington, tourists visiting Seattle's top attractions got quite the sight as smoke engulfed the sky near the Space Needle on Tuesday. Take a look. More than 90 firefighters were called after a fire broke out in an abandoned building. You can see where people were tweeting from pictures and videos, and they posted them to social media. Traffic back open this morning, but several streets were closed, including one near the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Fire crews say there have been no injuries. Turns out this abandoned building has a history. The building has been empty for years, but been a growing part of Seattle's nightlife culture. The building was actually built in 1929. It was transformed from a dry cleaning business into several different variations of dance clubs and lounges, including the Polyesters Culture Club.
For some people, it was the first club they had been to in Seattle, or maybe their first exposure to house music.
Our sister station in Seattle spoke with Cynthia Brothers, the founder of Vanishing Seattle. They're a group that documents disappearing businesses in the city. Fifth and Harrison has again taken new shape. This time it's future unknown. A piece of the city's nightlife culture survives only in memories. Wow. Sad to see something historic have such a terrible ending, but yeah, it's definitely changing a lot. Seattle is not the same as many people remember.
No, and you know, Tim, as a kid who grew up pretty far away from a city, when I first made it to a city, and then I found out there were places that existed like what that building used to be, and I could go and just dance. Yeah. And I felt like free, and I was like, this is what life was meant to be for me. So a place like that, for me, I'm like, oh man, that's a bummer. But you know, as things start to reopen, maybe we get more of them.
Yeah. And I don't know how severe the damage is, but maybe they could restore it to something. You know, it's always cool when they keep some of the original structure or architecture of those older buildings.
Yeah,
so.
and they have like some smoke remnants or flame remnants on them. And they're like, oh yeah, that's when.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to remember that.
Hey, you know why not? It's history. We got to remember the good and the bad.
There you go. All right, much more still ahead this morning on Up with KREM. We are celebrating Pride Month every Wednesday right here on our show. We spoke to Ricky Webster, the holiday cookie champion and owner of Rind and Wheat. He tells us what Pride means to him.
You know, Pride Month is very important to me. As a member of the LGBTQ community, it's important for me just to welcome others, and I came out much later in my journey than a lot of others, and because I didn't feel necessarily welcomed or maybe safe to really get down to it. And it's important just for us to celebrate this rainbow, because when, you know, someone of some age and youth or adult, whatever, there's just a community here to really support you, and to me that's extremely powerful. And that's why, you know, wearing this little rainbow on my t-shirt or having these visible in shop, even if you're not buying them, just kind of gives that person that thought of like, hey, there's people here to welcome me no matter what. And that's why it's important to me and my staff in the shop. We're all, whether you're an ally or part of the community, we celebrate it, and we want to see you here and give us a high five or shout woohoo. You know what I mean? It's just that time of the year, and it's important to celebrate it.
And coming up after the break, we are also highlighting the history makers who have made Pride Month possible.